Hello, Vicky. It's great to see
Hi,
you after your tremendous election campaign in Pegswood. I
thank you.
was I was really pleased to be helping you in your election campaign, both on the telephone and on the doorstep. And one of the things that struck me was how well known you have become in the Pegswood area just over a few months of campaigning.
I know it's been phenomenal. I've had so much support in the Pegswood ward, um, quite overwhelming, really. People wanted change. I'm not sure how it didn't happen, but people were very open for change. They like the sense of community. For me, community is what it's all about. And if you haven't got that, then the whole structure of a neighborhood doesn't work. And we have the problems with the welfare, we'll have problems with child food poverty and things, and there's so much that can be done, and it's a shame. I feel really gutted that I'm not able to put in place the plans that I wanted to in the ward, but it's a democracy and I wasn't voted in, so we live and learn and we move forward.
Yeah, Vicky, but am I right? You advanced the cause of Labour quite a lot during the course of your campaign.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, considering that, you're right. 3 months ago, I was unknown in the ward. Nobody knew my name. And by the end of it, we had people knocking on the door saying to me, "Hi, Vicky,"
Yeah.
knowing my name and knowing about who I was and what I stood for. Yeah, I mean, we nearly doubled the vote, which was great. I truly believe had we had a Liberal Democrat candidate, then I would have won.
You split the right wing vote. Yeah.
I would have, yeah. And had we had that candidate, then I'm pretty sure that I would be in County Hall right now. But we didn't have the candidate, so yeah, it's such a shame, But we there's still a lot to do in the ward, and there's still a lot that I want to do in the ward. And I've got meetings ongoing in the next couple of weeks to get a few projects up and running, which is great because I want to fulfill my pledge to the people of Pegswood that I'm there to help and I'm there to make things better.
So, what projects have you got planned?
So there's a few things. I'm working with communities together. So we are doing some activities in the school holidays for the kids and for families to get involved with. And then, there is obviously the big one, which is trying to save the welfare. I want to be actively involved in that. It would be such a dire shame if that closed. It has so much potential. The problem is in Pegswood itself, the community's grown vastly. There's lots of new houses going up, but the facilities aren't moving along with it.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that I think that could happen is for the welfare to be knocked down, to lose such a massive community facility. And then the probability is we know what will get built there instead, and that would be awful. So
what will get built there instead?
Houses, I would have thought.
More houses, just housing development without any kind of community structure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pegswood's such a close-knit village that it is already starting to lose that village feel, and people are very aware of that, and we have to do something about builders where they can build and then just think it's okay to add a little park and that's their community facility done. We builders need to take account of the money that they're making, and then we're short on doctors, we're short on schools, we're short on dentists, we're short on community facilities. All of these things builders need to be investing in. It's fair enough that yes, we need housing, but we need more affordable housing.
Absolutely.
We need more rentable housing for people who can't afford to buy. And all that it seems to be about is the profit of the house.
Yeah.
And we have to do something to try and stop that. And unfortunately, Labour, if we got into power in Northumberland, we would have held builders more to account. Unfortunately, we didn't. So again, it's another 4 years before we can even start and look at that. And it needs to be from top government down.
It does, because
But it's just not.
We need a program of council house building, because
Yeah.
not everyone can afford to buy their own house in the current
That's right.
economy.
That's right, exactly. So, you know, going back to the welfare, it could be such a great community facility. And if we look at the models of East Bedlington, the grant funding that they got put in place and what they've done to that community facility is fantastic. And there's no reason why the same thing couldn't happen in Pegswood. But, you know, we know that the owner of the land wants a decent rent from it. So the plan would have to be that we would seek grant funding to knock down the old part of the building and rebuild that, and within that have a couple of commercial units that could cover the land rent that the owners want. Now, my idea, and it's gone down really well when I've done focus groups and things on it, is, you know, there's not a post office in Pegswood, for example. There isn't a restaurant, there isn't a bistro, there isn't a cafe. So something like that is a viable business for someone to set up. People have come to me saying, I would love to open a cafe, but there's nowhere in Pegswood to open it.
Yes.
You know, and then it becomes a multi-use space where the commercial space is actually shared rent. Yeah. So you're not paying the full overheads that you would if you're in a standalone building. And, you know, it could be that it's a bistro or a cafe through the day and a bistro in the evening. The post office would be a small space, so it wouldn't be a huge rent. There's no, you know, in Pegswood, there's no daycare for children under 3, like sort of preschools and things like that. Now, there's a lot of families are entitled to a nursery place under the age of 3. However, in Pegswood, that would mean getting transport into Morpeth or Ashington to fulfill that place. And the cost of that, parents can't afford. So these children are actually missing out on a very early education.
This is a scandal, and it's the way that ex-mining communities are being treated. It's three generations now since the miners' strike was defeated. And yet 3 generations have had to pay the price of economic neglect of these places where miners used to live and work and make money for the entire nation. Yeah.
So we need to be trying to address all of these things within the Pegswood area. And I'm very well aware of some of the deprivation and some of the struggles that families have in the area. And I just feel as though the current administration are not going to address that. I feel very heartfelt that I can't address that now.
Yeah, Vicky, my last question. So are you going to do the community work and stand again next time?
Yes, is the short answer to that. Yes.
Okay.
I have to, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm very much looking forward to you supporting you with your continued contribution to developing local socialist policies in Pegswood as part of a bigger plan to get Northumberland back to a socialist local government.
Thank you, Ed. It's been really good to talk to you. Thank you.